Welcome to the Business Chaser, your quick pour of strategy, clarity, and momentum. We skip the small talk and get straight to the strategy here in these bite-sized episodes. We're here to help you grow smarter, market better, and chase what matters, all in 15 minutes or less. I'm your host, Lauren Najar. Tune in and let's chat.
Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Business Over Cocktails. My name is Hunter Myers, and I am super duper excited to be talking to you guys about my brand Matchmaker Method. Now, if you caught the episode earlier in the week, I touched on this a little bit, and I'm really excited to dive into it more with you. So as I said earlier, it is really important that we start reframing the way that we are viewing our customers. And when I tell people I want you to start dating your customers, they oftentimes give me the craziest look. But I want you to think about this, okay? I want you to think about a time that you were on a bad date and what that felt like for you and what you experienced. And then I want you to also think about a time that you were on a good date and what that felt like. And to think that your customers and clients experience the exact same thing each and every day. The only difference is it is a business on the other side of the table from them instead of a person. And as business owners, it is our responsibility to be good dates for our clients. Like, our clients and customers are what keep our businesses going. Like, without a client or a customer, like, you just have an expensive hobby, right? And so it is so important then that we are showing up for our clients and customers in a way that is mutually beneficial for them. So they're paying us, but we are also making a really strong experience for them. And so in the episode on Monday, I talked about this 4-part client connection framework, and I want to walk you through that so that you can hopefully start implementing some of this into your own business. So the first step is all about understanding and defining your type. Now, oftentimes you'll hear people say, like, who is your ideal client or your ideal buyer? And this is really where this is happening. So the same thing with dating, right? Like, you aren't going to go into a bar and willingly go home with anyone there, right? Like, you are going to think about who it is that you want to be attracting. And we need to be doing the same thing in our business. We need to be figuring out who our services and ourselves, right, are best for. And we need to get really specific about that. And when I started my business, I thought like I had it all figured out. And I was like, well, I serve, service-based, women-owned businesses. And then I would stop there. And the problem with that was, like, there were a bunch of service-owned or service-based, gosh, I'm stumbling, service-based women-owned businesses who weren't the right fit for me. Just like there are plenty of people, let's say that you like people with brown hair and blue eyes, that also aren't the right fit for you. And so in this defining your type phase, you've got to get very clear on who specifically these people are. Now, if you've worked with clients or customers before, one of my favorite activities to do is to actually make a side-by-side list of like clients or customers you loved working with and those that you didn't like working with, and write down the characteristics of those people and start to use those to figure out more about your people that are in the love category. So you can try to attract and appeal to more of them and start to avoid some of those ones in the not so much category. So that would be a tip there for defining your audience or defining your type. And so the next phase is all about creating chemistry, which is about positioning you and figuring out how you can show up and what you offer specifically that is very appealing to your type, to those ideal buyers. How can you differentiate yourself? What is it that you do or you offer? And how can you frame that for people that really resonates with them? And the key here is to make sure that they stay the focus. And so one of my favorite examples is actually a women and non-binary boxer brand. It's called Woxer. And they did something that I think was really freaking cool. So they found that they attract women who like to wear boxers, right? They attract people who have periods who like to wear boxers. And When you own a pair of boxers, traditional boxers, you cannot put a pad in the boxers. Like they're not designed to hold a pad. And so anyone who is having a period, who is wanting to wear those boxers for oftentimes a week out of every month, would have to purchase a different kind of underwear. And so what Woxer did is they knew this problem that their people were experiencing. And they're like, how can we solve this to make sure that these people stay with us? That we can serve them so well that they don't have to purchase something from anyone else. They don't have to purchase underwear from anywhere else. They can purchase it from us. And they developed a special pair of boxers that have an additional lining in them that can hold a pad, which I think is really freaking cool. And it was such an amazing way to create chemistry with their buyers and become truly the go-to for that audience. So I want you to think about ways that you can be a go-to. Like, why would someone choose you? What can you do to make sure they choose you over anyone else? Now, once you have figured those two things out, you can move on to the third phase, which is all about setting the mood. Now, you may have heard of buyer journeys and buyer touchpoints, and there's been some really interesting research that has come out recently. So people used to say that it takes about 7 touchpoints before someone is ready to buy from you. But new research has come out that it can take anywhere from 50 to 100 touchpoints before someone is comfortable enough to purchase from you. And so the setting the mood phase is all about thinking of the different touchpoints that your type could be going through. Where are they going to be interacting with your brand? What are they feeling at each of these phases as they are interacting with your brand? And how can you reduce as much friction as possible to make it easy for them to move to the next touch point and ideally reduce the number of touch points that they have to experience before they're ready to buy from you? So some examples of this could be providing FAQ videos. So if you have questions that your clients and customers ask a lot, maybe on sales calls, what are ways that you can be answering those ahead of time in your content? Another one is thinking of the visuals that you're using in your brand and making sure that your clients and customers feel represented. So for example, if you work with, let's say you're in the wedding industry and you want to work with queer couples, making sure that you have imagery on your site, on your socials that represent queer couples will make them far more comfortable coming to you and trying to work with you than if you only had like heterosexual couples represented on your site. So things like that will make your type more and more comfortable as they interact with your brand. And know too that these touch points aren't just someone coming to your website. They could be hearing about you from someone else, like hearing about your brand from a client who really liked working with you. That's a touch point. It could be seeing you speak at a summit, a touch point. It could be hearing you speak on a podcast. That's a touch point. Like all of these are ways that they are interacting with you and your brand. And there are things that I recommend you think about when you are showing up and kind of courting these customers. And then we talked about on the podcast on Monday, this happily ever after phase. And this is where most businesses fall off. And if you can do this, this is a great way to then position. So if we go back to the creating chemistry part, to position your brand as something that stands out from the competition. And this happily ever after is all about maintaining the relationship post-sale. How can you continue to serve the people that you are trying to target and that you are trying to help past the time of purchase? So for example, what I do with my clients is if I've got a branding client, after we've done a branding project, I will send them a pack of stickers with their new logo. I don't tell them that we're going to be doing this, but it is just a special gift of like, hey, thank you so much for partnering with me. This was so much fun. Like, I'm here to support you. I will also keep checking in with them. Like, what are your goals? What are you working on? Like, when clients work with me, I feel like whether it's to my detriment or not, like I become a part of their business and they become a part of mine. It's kind of like this little family that we're building. And I want to continue to support you, even if it is not from the lens of me doing design work for you, even if it's just me cheering you on. If it's me like seeing how you're using your design assets and being like, damn, you are killing it. Like, this was freaking awesome. Or, hey, I saw this resource and thought of you. This might be a good idea to test out. Like, things like that where we can continue to serve the people who have already invested in us. Like, we are returning that investment into them and letting them know that even though you aren't paying me right now, you are still valuable. I still value this relationship. And in doing so, I have been able to create some phenomenal referral partners, some amazing relationships that have opened a number of doors and have increased my own customer lifetime value because of those relationships that I maintain, and keeping them from being transactional and instead making them relationship and human based. Now, I know that this was a lot of information, and I hope, though, that in relating it to dating and thinking about your own dating experience and the process of courting someone, that you can start to slowly implement some of these examples and some of these pieces and steps of this framework into your business. I do have an assessment as well that kind of helps you pinpoint where you're at. So you are welcome to take that too. It is free, just to help you kind of gauge which of these sections you are in. But again, like, you can absolutely do this. You have either been on a date before, you have seen them on movies or on TV. And so now all you have to do is start applying it to your business. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. Like, I am here to support you. Continue to connect with me. Reach out on Instagram. Find me on YouTube. I talk about this even more if you want to learn more. Just let me know what you're up to, and I will keep cheering you on as well.
That's your quick hit of clarity and momentum for the week. If it sparks something, share it with a friend or tag us in your stories at Business Over Cocktails and or at Lauren Najar. We love seeing what resonates. Don't forget, Mondays are for full-length episodes with rich conversations, and Fridays are the Business Chaser episodes. These are bite-sized insights pulled from our guests to keep you inspired and aligned throughout the week. Do you have a question or a takeaway? DM us at Business Over Cocktails. We just might feature it in a future episode. Cheers!